And welcome one and all. My name is Jason Davis, and this is Empower Volusia Common Sense. And we're coming to you from an undisclosed location, hidden in an iron bunker in the upper western highlands of Volusia County, Florida. And we are, of course, guarded by 2 rabid Pomeranians and 1 crazy cat. And actually, there's a couple more running around here now, so everything is... it gets interesting, I'll tell you that. And, of course, if you're listening to us either on jasondavispodcast.com, on Twitter, on Facebook, or YouTube, and we're everywhere you want to be. Even if you don't want to be there, we can be there. That's right. You can go ahead and, it was kind of funny, it's been a while since I've done these, but about 2 weeks ago, I was out driving up and down the road, and I actually heard myself in somebody's car. They had it playing through their phone on their Bluetooth, so kudos to you there, folks. Well, folks, it has happened again. We're back to it one more time. Whoa, where'd that come from? I didn't mean to do that. All right. Well, a little rusty here, folks. You gotta give me a break. Anyways, it's that time. It's that year again. It's not that part of the year again. It is that year again.
Here you go again.
That's right. Here we go again, where it's election year. Oh, my goodness. And guess what happened to me yesterday? I went to the mailbox, and there it was, my mail-in ballot. And yes, I do mail-in ballot. I do it for a couple of reasons. I live so far out in the woodline in the upper western highlands of Volusia County, and sometimes I just don't have the time to actually go to the polls on that day. You know, on that Tuesday, I can't get there because something is going on somewhere. You know, I got a sick horse, a sick cat, sick dog, chickens on the roof. The cats had puppies, and the kittens and the dogs had kittens, or something's going on. So I don't get that chance. And, you know, then I get there, and I'm usually all hot and, you know, sweaty, and I probably don't smell too well, and I really don't want to be around people like that. So, you know, and a lot of times people recognize me for who I was, the county chair of Volusia County government. And so there we go. So that's why I do the mail-in ballot. And it's easy for me. And and let me explain something to you too. Volusia County, we have the most amazing system for checking these ballots. They're cross-referenced. We go to certain, we'll pull a number of a district just out of a hat. Then we'll pull how many we want to pull. Could be 6, 10, 15, 10%, 3%, whatever. And we take them out. We sit there. This is the canvassing board. And we sit there and we say, all right, we open up these envelopes and we validate that signature with the signature on file. And a couple of times, we've looked at and said, that's not a matching signature. And that ballot does not get counted. And then when the machine runs, which is an amazing machine, I mean, these machines are they're almost mesmerizing. You put 1,000 ballots in there, and they pull them all out, and then they go through this whole little tracking thing, and the machine, automatically separates them, by district. It's really quite amazing to watch this machine work. And it's a little loud, but we've got 4 of them things running, and they're running full bore all the time. We have Volusia County Department of Elections staff separates and breaks apart everything and flattens it out and puts it in the machine, and somebody's monitoring everything. And we got a sheriff's deputy in there, so there's no problems. We have a judge, a council member. We have the county attorney in there. We have the Department of Elections supervisor there. I mean, this is so above board. It's not even funny. We even just to get a number, hand count them. And we do this. This is quite amazing. And it's how many, and it's mind-boggling. There's a lot of work in there. It's a lot of work. So anyways, we moving on here. So here we go, folks. I've looked through these, and this is the great thing about getting a mail-in ballot. When you get a mail-in ballot, you actually have time to get on the internet and do your research and find out who did what, who is who. You can look at the websites. You can look at their voting history. You can look at all these things that may be important to you. So, and you've got time. You've got a couple of weeks, and you go through it, and you're okay, yeah, no, yeah, no, yeah, no. You can sit down and debate with your family members or friends if they're, mail-in ballots too. And you say, okay, cool. And you discuss matters, and you have the ability to research and discuss with authority. That's called a debate. And you may win some people, you may not. So, it's your call. You vote for who you want to vote for. Another thing about Florida here, we do not have open primaries. A lot of states, I think even counties, I think it's down to a county issue. But I know here in Volusia County for sure, we do not have open primaries. So you will not see, on the Republican side, you will not see Joe Biden and anybody or any Democratic candidate for Congress or Senate or anything. And on the Democrat side, you will not see Donald Trump or any Republican. And you won't see any Republican judges. You won't see the opposing party's people that are being elected. But we do have these things called nonpartisan races. And that's what I'd like to talk to you about today. We have a couple of nonpartisan races going on in Volusia County. And one of them is kind of near and dear to my heart, shall we say. It's the race for the county chair of Volusia County government. Now, when I ran for county council chair, I was told I had no chance. Republicans said, yeah, okay, go ahead, yeah, do it, do whatever you want to do. Nobody supported me. Any money that I raised by myself. I had, a group of people that supported me that said, yes, we're on it, we're going to help you out. And they did. And, we were able to raise a whopping, I think, $12,000 or $13,000 for a county race. I was running against a high-powered attorney, Mr. Ted Doran, who's a good friend of mine now. And I was also running against a longtime sitting county council member, Carl Persis. Now, both of these had in excess of $110,000 in their accounts. But I had one thing that they didn't have. I had a little common sense, And when somebody said, "What about this?" I read the county charter before we got as I got onto the campaign. We have a county charter, and I read that county charter from edge to edge. It was 34 pages, not a hard read, a little complicated, but not a real hard read. I followed the ordinances, and I was involved. I got involved with Sunrail by looking, over the history and the contract of Sunrail. I looked into budgets. You got to look. You got to do your research. You've got to go and know what the heck you're talking about, because they ask some pretty interesting questions on some of these debates. So. And I will tell you this, because it's been now almost 4 years. I did not win my reelection, and that was okay with me. I will tell you that. My mother was just put into a hospital, and she'd fallen and busted a hip and possibly had a stroke or a heart attack or something. Doctors were doing all kinds of tests and everything, and it was family first. And then also during the campaign, we had a hurricane hit, which kind of stopped me, and I mean, a lot of things on my plate going on, and one, personal life, professional life, a lot of things were happening in my life. So, I mean, I didn't have, a lot of time to devote to the campaign. And then there were some other issues where, the people that had supported me during my tenure, for some reason decided they didn't want to support me any longer. And that's fine. You vote for who you want. And I'll be honest with you, the night of election, when the election results came in and I saw that I was not going to win that election, I was like, oh, thank you. Because elections and campaigns and elections are extremely stressful. And I didn't have a massive heart attack until after I got out of office because of all the stress. So I will tell you, it is tough to do this job. And whoever's out there running a campaign and going from pillar to post, speaking to thousands and thousands of people, I commend you. I've been there, done that. I've got the scars to prove it. So anyways, we're going to move on with that. So here we are. My favorite race, the county chair. I thought there were only two, but there's a third person in there, and I really can't find that much about him. Never met the guy, don't know anything about him. But I will tell you that there is two leaders in this pack, and one is Deb Denny's, and Jeff Brower. Ladies first, that's all. I've been asked, on many occasions to support, endorse, do whatever. But you know what? And I never did before. I've never endorsed or supported anybody for any office because I thought that would be inappropriate. And I had two council members that were running for the at-large chair of Volusia County Council, two ladies. And they both looked at me and said, are you going to endorse me or endorse her? I said, I'm not doing either. I said, I got to work with you ladies here. I'm not doing that. No. Don't put me in that position. Please do not. And I did not endorse either of them. I said, may the best one win and do the best you can. But I just can't get involved. I just thought that would be extremely inappropriate. But this one here, I think I can get into, figuring out who I would like to see as the county chair. And I'm going to tell you, I could hold this out and drag it off like a Shaggy Dog story or something, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to be straight up front. I am just going to tell you whom I think would be the best choice for anyone here.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
And I am totally serious here. I'm going to tell you right here now that I believe that Jeff Brower would be a better choice for the Volusia County Chair than either of his two opponents. Now, why do I say that? Well, let's just talk about one of the opponents. Now, like I said, I don't know anything about this gentleman that's running. Haven't heard anything about him. Haven't seen any signs. I don't know if he's doing this for just some sort of, see, look what I'm doing kind of thing. But I will tell you that I have worked with his opponent, Deb Denny's. And I will tell you this, that, I got a flyer the other day in the mail, and I just looked at it and I said, really? What kind of BS is this? And it was, brought thousands of jobs to Volusia County. No, you didn't. A county council member does not have the authority to bring jobs to Volusia County. No, you don't. As a matter of fact, almost anything during my tenure that she got involved with fell apart. We had the Operation Gray Eagle. It was such a hush-hush, super secretive thing. I was like, what in the world is this Gray Eagle? I can't tell you. Then why are you talking about it? Why are you saying, I can't tell you anything about Gray Eagle? And the best thing to do is not say anything about Gray Eagle and just move on. See, she was always there about posturing and all about me, and I am the great. And she is one of these people that, from what I have observed, this is a personal observation. From what I have observed, she is the kind of person that is elected to office and wants to stay in office, no matter what office. So she's termed out as a council member in her district. So now she wants to go for the county chair. Okay. Very well. And as I said before, the only thing that she's got going for her right now is she knows all the big power brokers in Volusia County. And that's a fact. There are certain people in this county that everybody goes running to whenever they want to be elected or get reelected. And they say, I need donations. Can you give me donations? Give me money. Give me money. But remember, when you get something from someone, they generally want a payback. And that is what's going on here. We and I'm not even going to name them because I'll just tell you that, so Miss Denny has this couple of $100,000 or $150,000 or something. I haven't looked at her campaign reports. Not interested. Don't care. But she's gotten all of her money, all this big money donations from those people, from the power brokers in Volusia County, who are doing their best to influence the future council. I mean, personally, it would be a smart idea for those power brokers to give equal amounts to each of the candidates that are running for that position and cover your bets. But you can do whatever you want to do. And I have met Jeff Brower, and I've gotten to know Jeff Brower, and I've gotten to meet his children, and I've been to his farm, and I will tell you, you're not going to coerce this man. He's going to do what I did. That's nice. Let me get all the facts. Okay, this is the wrong thing to do. Now, let's also talk about, let's get back here to where we started from, Miss Denny's. Another reason why I would not support or vote for Miss Deb Denny's. There's no real easy way to say this. For supposedly being a conservative, which I don't believe she is, she sure was pretty quick to jump on that add the half-cent sales tax to Volusia County. She was real quick, because I'll tell you what, they couldn't do it without a supermajority. Now, I know the council member, Heather Post, said no taxes. Kudos to her. But everybody else on that council said, we got to do the tax thing. We got to get that half-cent tax. It'll be good for the schools. It'll be good for the roads. Yes, it'll be great for our infrastructure. You can't do that, by the way. You can't put a half-cent sales tax out there and say, we're going to use it for roads. It's not how it works. There's a certain way to do road money, and that's not it. But they were just looking for money. They were just looking to tax, to do something with this money, And then here's what was going to happen with that money. There's a reason why we had to have a special election for it, too, because if we didn't have that special election from now on, you want a new increase in sales tax. New Florida state law says you have to actually have an audit of the county government system. I don't think the county would pass an audit. They say they would. They will all say they do. They will. But why are you afraid to go through the audit process to get a half-cent sales tax increase if you would pass an audit? But here's how that kind of thing works. Having been in government, I know They take that money and they say, okay, it's a half a cent. Our average income on a half a cent sales tax is X millions of dollars. So we'll spread that out over 20 years, 30 years, and we will now say, oh, just for giggles and grins, we can raise $500 million with that half cent sales tax over 30 years. Good. Let's bond that money so we can have it now, like they did with the gas tax that was passed by whom I do not know, because I didn't vote for it. I voted against it, and everybody I've ever known voted against it. But this 10-cent sales fuel tax, they bonded the heck out of it to the point where the term had come up for it to be sunshined, and they had to refinance it. And I can get into that later or in another day, depending on what we got. So she loves to tax you. And also, by the way, she was also found guilty of campaign finance violations, which, by the way, folks, is a felony. It is a felony charge. She pled no contest to this issue. She was using money inappropriately from her campaign account to do things which you can't do. And she had to go to Tallahassee. Or actually, she spent the money on an attorney in Tallahassee and just pled it out and said, what am I going to pay? And she paid her fine. That's what happened. Oh, yeah. So if she can't run her own campaign, and this was 2 campaigns ago, or her last campaign. I think it was, 2 campaigns ago. If she can't run her own finances in her campaign account of well under $200,000, how was she going to be in charge of a county and making the decisions for $500 million? Because that's our budget. Our annual budget that they collect is $500 million. That's what we get here in Volusia County. So, pardon me. So here's what we got. We have this woman, career politician, who's a yes person for the power brokers. Anything they want, she has always said yes. She has violated campaign finance laws, and she has never met a tax she did not love. There you go. Or you're looking at a newcomer, Jeff Brower, who's done his homework. He ran for District 1, by the way. I really thought he would do good in that. And but Jeff Brower has done his homework. He knows how legislation works. He actually reached out to me because there's been a couple of people out there that will tell you that Jason, and this is something a friend of mine says. He says, if I ever have a problem with the budget, I don't know what's going on with the county budget that I need to know. He says, I call you. I says, why do you call me? He says, because you're like a budget savant. I remember the numbers. I know how things work. And once you learn how to read a budget, which I have sat, and Jeff reached out to me, and I sat down with him for 3 hours and explained to him the way the budget works. And believe me, it's very convoluted. But once you understand it, it's very easy to read. Jeff Brower is also somebody that is saying, I don't care what you do, we're not raising taxes. And he also is going to try, I think, to re-implement the zero debt program that I built with the county manager when I was in office and pay off all of these debts. When I left office, we had 2 debts left. We had the big white elephant, also known as the Ocean Center, which we could pay off. And we had the 10-cent tax bonds, but everything else was paid off. Now we've got more debt incurred in our county because of the people that are sitting on the county council. And I know Jeff Brower does not want to incur more debt. And he'll probably try to go back to the zero budget program as I was working on with the county manager. He's a great guy. He's very personable. And here's something else about Jeff Brower. He knows something about water because he's got a degree in agriculture. He knows how water works. And when I was in office, I was working with a group of people to try to clean up the intercoastal waterway. And it was a program that would have cost $30 million, and it would have taken care of the entire intercoastal waterway, the entire length of our county, and actually improved the water quality up and down the intercoastal. It was not a lot of money. $30 million in the government world is not a lot of money. But that would have taken care of all that. And I will be here, and just as sure as I'm talking to you on this podcast, my biggest adversary was Deb Denny's, who said, no, you've been working with these people. Well, of course. And I have become a very knowledgeable person in water. I know about nitrogen. I know about the ammonia level. I know the truth about what's going on in our water systems.
You can't handle the truth.
And I can, and you can too. And Jeff Brower gets it. He's not afraid to talk to people, and he explains things to people in a manner to which they understand, which is something that his opponent never could do. She was always using, $35 words to explain a 10-cent problem. So there you go, folks. My money, and it is my money. I get to make this choice. It's your money. You get to make this choice. But I will tell you right here now, this old county chair here, past county chair of Volusia County, that has probably done more good for this county than a lot of people have ever thought could be done. By trying to, which I did, lower your taxes, and I did try to get our debt to zero. And I did endorse, and I fought to try to get Sunrail working in some way, considering we own it. And I was always trying to reduce the cost of items by telling everybody you need to know where to shop. So this old county chair here would definitely, and is definitely going to vote for Jeff Brower. Because he's a good guy. He studied hard. He's paid his comeuppance, as we say in the South here. And he knows what's going on. And he's not afraid to stand up and actually use, folks. Can you guess? Yeah, that's right. Something that's not in government too much. A little common sense.